Hello, and welcome to Weed and Grub.
If I was a Summer Olympic judge,
Yes.
I would have given Archie 10s across the board.
Wow.
It was an incredible feat.
You hear that, Archie?
Archie's the dog if you're listening to this for the first time.
Mr. Archie Moo
Yeah.
in studio today with us, freshly bathed and has a nice new haircut. Maybe the haircut is what afforded you the visibility to see you're talking about his pee stream, right?
It was an incredible pee stream. Not only in strength and clarity.
Right.
Very hydrated dog.
He's very hydrated.
But also he smelled the spot. It was on a decline and it was on a small piece of a pole with loose gravel. And he hit it on the decline, lifted a leg, did almost like a 45-degree tilt to hit the angle, and then bullseyed it right where he wanted that stream to hit. Like, I have never seen a more dexterous and accurate dog in my life.
The accuracy. You know, you make me think there's a fish called the archer fish. Have you ever heard of the archer fish?
No.
They actually spit out of the water to hit low-hanging like bugs on leaves and stuff with
Wow.
a little stream of water.
Yeah.
So they come up to the surface and they do this little, and then they hit whatever their little target, and then they eat that. So I may have been subliminally influenced by or subconsciously influenced by the archer fish to name my little guy Archie.
Archie.
Because he's, yeah.
And we can call the Olympic game archery.
Archie.
And it's just a bunch of different breeds of dogs trying to hit specific pea spots on varying degrees of difficulty and terrain.
I love it, and I feel proud as a dog person who cohabitates with Archie Moo.
It was
I'm
so
a proud
magnificent.
person. Yeah.
I really did stop in my tracks because here's what you make me think of with this fish and these dogs. Like, I love the Puppy Bowl on the Super Bowl.
It's the
I
best.
love Westminster Dog Show.
Nothing
but
like it.
Could we please have Animal Olympics? And we can have dogs doing pee feats. We can have fish spitting at bugs. I want to see octopus try and become the color of bricks and the texture of granite.
And unscrewing jars.
And unscrewing. Which animal can unscrew a jar of faster?
Octopus.
Always. A crow versus an octopus versus a chimpanzee.
Crow versus octopus. I would watch that. 100%. Also, I think that what I really truly love about Archie is that his leg lift, he's ambidextrous.
Oh, wow.
He can go either side. And his lift is always so high that it looks like he's going to topple over. He's sort of like the Baryshnikov of urinators. Like, he stretches that top leg back so far and then he sort of balances I think he could be in the Nutcracker. I think Archie has a future on stage.
Yeah,
I mean, I don't want to share a stage with a dog because nobody looks at the person.
Right.
They only look at the animal. But yeah, he's amazing. He's an amazing guy.
He can switch legs. That's so freaking cool.
Yeah, he's a switch hitter.
Switch pisser?
Yep. He's really good at everything.
What a married shade.
How's it going, Mike?
Great. Welcome to Weed and Grub, everyone. This is a podcast about comedy,
Cannabis,
cooking,
culture,
calling shit out,
and good peers and great holidays.
Yeah, Thanksgiving.
Yeah, Thanksgiving.
Thanksgiving.
LOL.
This is our Thanksgiving episode.
It sure is.
Did you just come up with that?
God, I mean, listen, the weed pun world is so saturated. You just got to go back to the oldies and the goodies.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I got you. You were going to say something about Archie before I interrupted with our intro. What were you going to say?
It's gone out of my head. My brain is like Swiss cheese, truly. I've been having trouble remembering easy words lately because my brain is so oversaturated with all of the stuff that you and I have going on.
Yeah.
In addition to all of the stuff that I have going on my own. So I am really looking forward to unplugging and turning off for this week of good food and just chill time with friends. It's going to be great.
Well, speaking of unplug, let's do some plugs.
Oh, haha. Nice, Mike. First up, the Emjays.
November 30th, Palms Hotel and Casino in Las Vegas, Nevada.
Come see us. We are co-hosting the International Cannabis Awards. It's the first ever of this amazing red carpet event. We're going to be hanging with all of the cool folks at MJ BizCon and just having a great time celebrating the industry.
more about us. So we are gonna crush this thing. We have been working so hard. Our scripts are solid. Everyone laughs when we pitch their stuff to them. We have videos. We have snacks. We have LED screens with laser lights. We have music.
We have costumes.
We have costumes.
Costume changes.
Come on now.
Yeah, we filmed a bit the other day that truly, I had the greatest time coming up with it and then filming it and editing it. Like we were cracking each other up. So yeah, come see what we came up with.
100%.
Yep.
And then our second plug is actually yours, not mine, so I'll be quiet.
Please check out my Substack. I started a newsletter from my sandwich project at It's the Mayo for Me on TikTok and Instagram if you're not following that. And the Substack newsletter is an opportunity for me to write more about the topics that I'm diving into and shout out other cool stuff that's going on and share the sandwich recipes. And it's free. So please sign up at the link in the show notes. It is called My Sandwich, My Choice. And I'm having a great time with it.
I really liked this week's entry.
Thank you.
Yeah, it was really interesting. And also the sandwich looked delicious.
This sandwich I was really proud of because it's not, nothing is an original recipe anywhere in the world. Someone's made everything, but I combined like a bunch of different influences into something that what I feel like is kind of mine. And it was really freaking good. It's an egg salad with labna and tarragon and jalapeno.
Yum.
Yeah. It kind of had all the zings and the zangs. You know?
Man, my throat swallowed without me realizing it.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got my brain to just like make an involuntary swallow.
I will make you that egg salad sandwich and share it with you.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
Please.
So back to the Thanksgiving topic. We are both going to be with family, right? And friends?
Yes, and I will also be hiding out in the bathroom.
Oh.
So I think it's going to be like a 60-40 split between family time and taking weird long showers over and over and over.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Say more.
I don't know, man. Like, I don't know what happened in this country. Let me back up.
That's just a statement in it. That's a full sentence.
Hard stop.
I don't know what happened in this country.
I don't know
Same.
when the holidays went from what I grew up watching on TV, which was like joyous family occasions. Everyone comes together, sits around the tree, pulls
Cindy
out
Lou
a turkey,
Who.
all these things,
Yeah.
to like an ungodly amount of stress. People that do not like each other in a house that feels more tense than joyful, and everyone is there forced to spend money and forced to engage. Like, I don't know when that happened, but there are more people in this world than not when I talk to them that are dreading the holidays. And I think that is such a unfortunate thing that feels like common occurrence now when it comes to what should be a celebration of a year done well.
Yes, for sure. Well, I wonder, Thanksgiving feels like one of the last holidays standing that they've sort of failed to successfully commercialize, like Christmas or Valentine's Day or whatever, where it's like, it's all about the things that you have to buy around it. But unfortunately, I think in the last 30 years, like Black Friday has really taken
That's
it over,
what it is,
right?
isn't it?
Is that part of what you're feeling? Is like that? Is that what you're talking about with the money?
I love Black Friday.
I know, it's pretty
it's so fun.
It's pretty great.
I type in the craziest ideas I can think of and something pops up for 30% off.
I just got I went to Kiehl's and got a Black Friday deal. But the weird thing is it was like 2 weeks ahead of Black Friday. So I was like, is this a Black Friday sale? That's what it said on my receipt. I don't know.
GIMP masks, 30% off.
Great.
Sibian machines.
Yeah.
Up to 20% off.
You want a Sibian machine for yourself?
I'm just saying they're available as a deal.
Okay. If you don't know what that is, you should Google it and imagine Mike writing one because that would be something else. Yeah. Well, okay. So what are your stresses around Thanksgiving specifically, though? Is it just like...
do we want to get personal or do we want to talk about like the fun shit? Where do you want me to go with that?
Why
answer?
not both?
Why not both?
Why not be funny about the personal shit?
Because I'm flying all the way across the country to see my dad's entire side of the family. My mom's side doesn't talk to each other. They hate each other.
Wow.
All of them hate each other.
Wow.
And so we're flying across the country to Boston to see my dad's side, where people get along a bit more. And also everyone's getting older. So, how many times can you kick it with the uncles before the uncles are no longer your uncle?
Until they kick it.
Yeah, until they kick it. But my mom is canceling last minute because the dog has had kennel cough for a week. And my understanding is that kennel cough is like a contagious cold for a dog, but it does not, why are you missing an entire family reunion that you could get someone to come in for 48 hours? Get someone to come in for 48 hours, sit there with the dog. If this had happened a week ago, which is it had, why wasn't this plan in the mix off jump? And I think it's because my family had Thanksgiving at their home 2 days ago. So I think she got what she needed. She got all of her favorite dishes, which I'd love to get into our favorite dishes in a moment.
Yes.
But so she got her Thanksgiving and now she's like, cool, fuck it. And I think that's just the most disrespectful thing you can do.
That's wild. Okay, so no Thanksgiving for your mom.
And there's also, if you're going to open the floodgates at the top, and I'm sorry, everybody, if you didn't expect this for an ep, but like I come from a family of people who overcomplicate life as soon as anything is in action. So like an example would be, an example for me would be like, let's say I'm getting booked for a stand-up show.
Okay.
And it's on Friday at 7:30 p.m.
Got it.
The next thing that my family would do that I've fought actively in therapy and through a lot of self-work not to do is be like, what time are doors? What time do I need to be there? Can I get up early? If not early, I'd love to go up late. Who else is going to be on it? Like, is there a ticket link yet? Okay. I'm also thinking, if I don't have a car, so maybe I can get there a little bit earlier. By the way, what does it pay? And how many people do you think will be in attendance? I'd love 6 comps. Like, you got the gig, so just say yes.
Yep.
But then that's when everything actually becomes a problem.
Wow.
Like, you got what you wanted and now there's a problem with that. And I think that is one of the most detrimental things you can do to yourself in life.
Overcomplicating things with the small stuff.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, you're just making me think of like when we just had Reggie Watts on the podcast, we got 0 questions from them except what time and when, like nothing about parking or anything even. He just like showed up and I was like, that was just the easiest, most amazing kind of like come on through. It was just great. So he moves through life with like ease and very few questions.
Yes.
And
exactly.
It's nice.
It's really nice.
Yeah.
Kiss. Keep it. How- See, I can't.
What is the acronym? We can't remember. Keep it so serious. Jesus Christ. That's wild.
Oh, man.
I fully understand it. I think that like overcomplicating stuff is like it's representative of anxiety, right?
Yeah, I think
it's
so.
kind of when you're anxious about stuff and you just like feel the need to, it feels like you're doing a good thing for your anxiety by asking all of those questions and trying to put it all in place. But what I've learned about my anxiety, instead of like asking all those questions, is just kind of calming all of those impulses and letting a little bit of trust come through. And then that is more often than not what gets you through, is just like trusting that it's going to work out.
Yeah.
You don't need to know all of the details. You can just show up and however it unfolds. Like you can't control the event
Right.
by asking questions about it in advance, right?
I feel like that truly is the metaphor of Thanksgiving.
It's also what weed is very good
It's
for, by
also
the way.
what fucking weed. Yo, I'm going to smoke on that.
It's truly like, that's the thing for me about just like having a 5 milligram edible before going to something that I'm feeling nervous about, because that is going to prevent me from overthinking and for the most part, I mean, I definitely talk a lot, but over talking, it helps me to listen and it helps me to be just kind of in the moment. It helps me to like, just appreciate being in that place at that time. It's really nice. And so
Wait, what are you doing for Thanksgiving?
Oh man, I'm going to Hawaii.
Fucking fuck you. Big fuck you. You dork. Fuck you.
You are going to Boston to hang out with a bunch of people who hate each other, and I'm going to Hawaii to hang out with a bunch of people who love each other. And I think that is pretty funny, Mike. Yep.
Will we send each other pics?
Oh, I'll be texting you pictures of me like poolside and, like on horseback.
Amazing.
For sure.
I will be sending you pictures of me boofing out of a toilet paper tube in the bathroom
you
with
in
the
a
window
parka.
cracked.
Like, fuck this. Oh my God. Yes. I'm going to spend Thanksgiving with some amazing people in Hawaii, and I've never been. So I'm really looking forward to it because it's a very non-touristy, like they live there on the Big Island. And so I've never been to Hawaii and I don't know what to expect from any island, but I think specifically where they are is like, yeah, I'm just going to experience a piece of the culture that's not touristy. And I'm really looking forward to just, I don't know, seeing somewhere that I've never seen. And everyone is an incredible cook.
Yeah.
It's going to be just a series of like eating adventures and then a lot of sleeping.
Let's talk the food because there's like 20 something of us in Boston.
Yeah.
everyone who has a good head on their shoulders decided to just get Thanksgiving catered.
Wow.
Otherwise, you've got chaos in the kitchen, too many cooks, literally everyone saying what their like do's and don'ts are. And so like nobody is allowed to say shit and everybody hopefully eats a great meal. Although I am really going to miss making some of my like self-proclaimed famous recipes for Thanksgiving.
Okay.
I make an amazing mashed potato. Like you cannot fuck with my mashed potatoes. I learned it on Worst Cooks in America from Chef Ann Burrell, who I thought was a lesbian, but is seemingly straight now.
A lesbian?
A lesbian. But is seemingly straight now.
Wow. I guess she's bi then.
I don't know.
Okay.
I think that she used everything at her disposal to become famous, and I have no problem with that.
Yeah, politically astute.
Yep.
Got it.
But she did teach me how to make a great garlic mashed potato and how to like infuse oil. Or no, that would be
Infused butter?
No, roast garlic in oil. Like,
Okay.
you know, where you wrap it in the foil. Like that was the first time I learned how to do that. And I stole a food mill from the Worst Cook set.
You mean like the ricer thing that you
Ricer,
have?
thank you.
Yeah, the potato ricer.
The potato ricer.
You taught me that.
I stole that potato ricer from set, and that is like the most crucial piece of equipment when making mashed potatoes.
You have passed on that knowledge, I will say, and I have passed on the knowledge from you. So it's you're doing good in the world because I have made your mashed potatoes, which you learned from Ann Burrell. And yeah, everyone fucks with them heavy. It's like they're all like, "What is happening in my mouth?" The consistency, the amount of butter and cream is alarming.
It is, but also that's why you can't fuck it up. Like you just keep adding salt, pepper, butter, cream until you're happy with it, and then add a little bit more.
Yeah.
You know?
Delicious.
Yeah, it's good. I'm gonna miss making that, especially because that roasted garlic mashed potato, like the roasted garlic, it gets so soft, and as you fold it in, you just get these pops of roasted garlic throughout it. And I think that also with a little bit of chive on top, presentation wise, seeing that roasted garlic chunk with a little chive with a little smooth mash, real nice.
So satisfying.
Real nice.
I invite you to make that for me anytime. You would be welcome to make that for me.
Oh, that's such a good point. Why is it just Thanksgiving? Mashed potatoes are an anytime treat.
All the time, anytime. I would bathe in them, put them in your bathtub, and I'll come over and roll around. Wait,
really?
Yeah.
Because we did that weird video shoot in Miami
That's
where that guy
crazy.
with the foot fetish.
Oh, no.
He had a deep foot fetish, Mary Jane, and he got you to go barefoot in a huge plastic tub of potatoes and squish your feet in them, and he was sweating behind the camera.
It was such a bizarre thing. I was like, nobody wants to see that. And he was like, we want to see it. I want to see it. Get up in that tub with your bare feet and stomp around like the grape stomping lady. I was very glad I didn't fall off that crazy. I was kind of like up high standing on a kitchen island in the middle of this production studio. The whole thing felt real weird. And I did it. And I was like, I know this is never going to make it into the cut because who wants to see feet in mashed potatoes? Turns out only that guy did because it didn't. Did it make? I don't even remember. Didn't make the cut.
I remember they did the first pass, the rough cut.
Nobody
and
wants
the very
that.
first thing on the floor was the CEO being like, "We don't need the foot thing."
Yeah, why are her feet? What? No, this is about dinner with friends.
You have great feet.
Thank you.
I have actively tried to and considered starting an OnlyFans for you, and then just showing up with a check and being like, "You should have listened to me."
I mean, I would love the excuse to get bi-weekly. What is it when it's every 2 weeks? A pedicure every couple of weeks and like put some pictures online and make some money. Thank you. Still considering it for sure. Open to options. If anyone would subscribe, maybe I'll open it up for people to say yes to.
Get in there. It's a different kind of sub stack.
I mean,
submissive stack. You know what I mean?
Can I ask what it is about my feet you like? And I'm not being vain. I just want to know.
Yeah. They're like a cartoon that a kid would grow up with foot. Like it's how somebody who knows how to draw a hot foot would draw a hot foot. And then you see it as a kid, and kind of like a Betty Boop, where everyone's like, "Oh my god, I love a juicy ass and a thick hip," and the first one you have a reference for is Betty. Or like Wilma, if you're into like a lithe redhead, like,
oh yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
Yep.
And so I think your foot is a cartoon foot.
Okay, thank you. I appreciate that. Thank you. If anyone wants to see them, hit me up. DM me. Just Venmo me $5 and I'll send you a snapshot.
Damn. Okay. Fucking rap on that. Tarantino's like. So yeah, I make a great mashed potato.
Yo.
I also am really good at making a turkey. I crush a turkey.
Okay.
And I fucking freewheel it. Like I do all the things you're supposed to do.
Do you
pop
brine?
open I've never brined.
Okay.
I've never brined and I've never fried. I think those are the two versions that I would love to attempt another time?
I've done both.
Yeah?
I've done both. The brining is definitely worth it. The frying was, I didn't notice that it was better. Or, like, I think it was just a lot of hot oil and kind of mess for something that was like, I think just as delicious in the oven.
Yeah.
I did one Thanksgiving deep fry in one of those big fryers, a whole fucking rockfish, like a 20-pound rockfish, in the style of the restaurant that I worked at the time was a James Beard Award-winning chef, Christine Keff at the Flying Fish, and she did this huge, deep fried rockfish that she would then just put out with like just all sorts of fresh vegetables, and it was so beautiful. And we did that for Thanksgiving one year, and I think that might have been my favorite Thanksgiving.
That's incredible.
Was that fish? Yeah, it was freaking great.
Wow.
Yeah.
And then I think that's about it for my recipes. What are your go-tos?
I love rocking all the sides. I love making a green bean casserole. I learned from Scott, my ex, who was from Iowa. He did like a very classic green bean casserole with the mushroom soup and the French's onions on top. And I know it's like 3 ingredients and everyone knows it, but as a Canadian, I'd never had it before.
Oh.
And I was like, what is this Midwestern delicacy? And it's sort of magical to me. Like once I have a bite of that, I feel like I'm in holiday mode.
Fuck yeah. May I interrupt for a moment?
Of course.
So I was watching Thanksgiving YouTube, my favorite time to watch cooking YouTube, and Eric from
Andre.
New York. Eric from New York Times Cooking.
Oh,
The Asian man who makes that amazing gochujang chocolate or gochujang cookie.
right.
Eric Kim, maybe?
Uh-huh.
I can't remember. But if you watch his YouTube, he did 13 of the most highly praised green bean casserole recipes. And then he took the bits and pieces from all of those to make his version. And the thing that he did that changed the game the most was he roasted the green beans before he would cook them with everything so that there would be a smoky roasted note in there along with all the richness and the crunch and all those other things. Yeah.
Hell yes.
Pretty cool move.
Fucking A. I love that. That sounds so good. There's an ottolenghi recipe that I learned from our friend Natalie that is a roast sweet potatoes, and it's got serrano chilies and all sorts of crazy stuff in it that is and goat cheese and I think figs maybe.
Yum.
That is an amazing holiday side instead of just doing like a mashed sweet potato or something like that. And then I make a mean cranberry sauce.
Do you really?
Homemade, yeah.
Do you really?
I really do.
I feel like that is the most controversial item on the Thanksgiving table.
Right. When you slide it out of a can and it just wobbles around like something out of a Looney Tunes fucking moment, it's like gross. Nobody wants it. And it always just sits there and then you throw it out and we're like, well, we did the thing, you know? But when you make it fresh and you get the bag of cranberries and you boil them down and you add like orange zest and a little bit of cinnamon and the right amount of sugar and you really take your time with it, it sings.
So what is the proper thing to use cranberry sauce for?
Everything.
Oh, okay. It's like the
thing
gravy of the fruit.
Yeah, it ties everything together. Like when I get my plate and I put all of the, you've got your potatoes and your green bean casserole and your meat and a couple of your sides and hopefully some stuffing and some sweet potato stuff. And then you just like zing the cranberry sauce all the way around.
Really?
And it ties everything together. Yeah, like that's the best thing in a sandwich. A leftover hot turkey sandwich, that cranberry sauce is kind of why I'm eating it.
Wow.
Because you want to make it zingy and a little bit spicy too. Like you could put some heat in there with like a little chili.
Oh, wow. That sounds so nice. What about gravy? I
love making gravy too. And I learned the trick of gravy from my sister.
Producer Mark's arms are in the air.
Yes, you can. I mean, when you got a good gravy, when you make it in the pan and you get the right consistency and you make the roux properly and you skim it and you strain out all of the chunky bits and it doesn't taste burnt or fatty. And it's just like that sweet, sweet, creamy meat taste.
Yes.
Sweet, sweet, creamy meat. That's the name of this episode. Speaking of gravy.
I know.
Whoa.
Should we?
Well, let's do it.
I'm so nervous.
Are you? We have gravy soda pop to taste that we've kind of been sitting on. It's from our friends over at Jones.
Wait, maybe this will be the thumbnail.
Yeah. Oh. So this Jones soda was sent over to us. I'm not going to say when, but we've had it for a minute. We thought that today would be the time.
Don't rope me in with your choices.
Well, we've had it. It might be since last year, but we're going to taste it today for this very special Thanksgiving episode.
Turkey and gravy soda, special release by Jones.
Yeah. We'll have to see if they're still available this season.
Well, it has natural flavors,
It
so
was a
I'm
hot
sure
drop.
it's just gravy with it's like SodaStream. I bet they just added gravy and carbonated water to a SodaStream and bottled it.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely. Logan Gunselman would be all over this.
All right, let's give it a go.
Okay.
I'm perfectly high for this.
Okay. Perfect.
Just knock this back
There's a
at your
little fizz.
Thanksgiving
Okay.
dinner.
I'm ready. Oh, no. Okay. Cheers.
Oh, it smells like gravy.
Here, I want to do
Cheers.
this.
It smells like gravy.
Happy Thanksgiving.
I hate it.
Ugh.
It's disgusting.
Nope.
It tastes like gravy, which is what it promised.
It tastes.
So I'm actually not against
I'm
it
taking another sip.
because it is exactly what it says it is, and props for that. You nailed it.
It's
Ugh.
oh, it's really weird to drink a soda that tastes like gravy. Oh, there's the salt coming in the back end. They did that really well. They
Yeah.
layered that salt coming through in the back end just like a good gravy does. It's so strange to drink a carbonated gravy flavored
If this
soda.
was in a gravy boat instead of a bottle, would you mind it as much? Because you're thinking soda right now,
Yes.
right? So if you remove the idea of what it is from itself, which it actually is, would it be better?
I think honestly, I think I need to smoke a little more weed for this to be good, and then I would enjoy it. Like the way I see you enjoying it, I need to smoke.
Hit this shit.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
Yeah. Because the more I drink it, the more I don't mind it. But
Yeah.
that first hit, you're like, oh, I'm drinking carbonated gravy.
Because it's interesting, is what it is.
Yeah.
It's not good, but it's not boring. It's I've never had that flavor before in that form, so that's cool. I guess that's not a bad thing. Thank you. Oh, what is this? That's nice.
That's that sun-grown, low THC outdoor from Humboldt.
Mm-hmm.
It's deeply purple.
Oh, from
and-
Whitethorn Valley.
Not Whitethorn Valley. I wish I could remember the name. Somebody else who just won Cannafest with this strain.
Great.
And I smoke it a lot. I'm almost out of it, unfortunately. But maybe that just means I have to go back up to Humble and support small farms.
nice sliding that in there. Okay. Well, listen, Jones.
What would you score that on a
on a scale of 1?
No. On a scale of I'm having a great time with my family to get me out of here.
Oh, I would scale this. This would be a 10 because it would give you all something to talk about and stop like arguing about, fucking Ron DeSantis or whatever it is that someone's trying to have a conversation about.
He'd join your OnlyFans.
You could be like, listen, sure, if he wants to pay $5 to lick my feet, he's welcome to. I think this is the exact kind of thing that you need when you are having a difficult time with your family. So on that scale, I would rate it high.
I think you're so right. It is a talking point. I did not mean to wax over your pun. So sorry. Great pun.
How would you rate it?
I would rate it high too, based on like what it is, what it's doing, and how it can incorporate itself into a fun time.
Yeah.
Completely agree. Great job, Jones.
I need to stop drinking it though, because it's actually disgusting.
Well, good, because we have one more, but I don't know what the flavor is because I didn't look.
Okay.
So I'm just going to pull it up. It's a surprise.
They sent these over as well at the same time. We may or may not have been sitting on them for a minute.
Oh, shit. This is a good follow-up.
You need to open this with a lighter. It doesn't have the twist top.
Okay.
Do you know how to do that?
I've never done it.
Let me see if I can do it.
Wait, we got to say what it is first.
Okay, it is Jones special release sugar cookie soda.
I love a sugar cookie
let me
so
see if
much.
I can do this. I'm never successful with this, but producer Mark, do you know how to do this? It's so dumb. I feel like this is one of the things that I should be able to
Open
do.
a soda with a lighter?
Yeah, you've never opened a beer with a lighter?
No.
Thank you.
I've never done it. Producer Mark, you know how?
Producer Mark is coming through.
With his teeth?
Oh no.
Oh.
Archie, you should be able to do this.
Oh, he has a bottle opener.
You've got a bottle
back
opener.
there.
Thank you so much. Here we
Hell
go.
yeah, Producer Mark. Of course you do.
Oh, there you go. That's one.
I
And
love sugar cookies. Oh, and these are the kind of sugar cookies that you have. The picture is the ones that you have at the grocery store where they're in that like rack of 12 and they have that inch of frosting on top and they're really sugary and doughy.
Yes.
Like that's the classic perfection sugar cookie when I think of a sugar cookie.
much more successful than the candy corn version that I attempted to make with. Thank you, Mark. That's very. Oh, of course.
You want
Oh
some
yeah,
gravy,
it's
baby?
disgusting. There you go. No, just take it with you. Oh, thank you.
When you try it, yell out and we will... Actually, come here, Mark. Let's try it right now. Before we get into this, get on the mic. He has a his face went peculiar.
I'm kind of into it.
What do you think? Well, how would you rate it? Once a year thing.
Yeah.
Once a year. Okay.
A talking point.
Okay. Yeah. Great.
Bring everyone together.
That's why he's not on the pod. Not as entertaining as us.
Oh no! Come on. Very entertaining. Thank you, Mark. Okay, sugar cookie. Here we go.
Okay. I love it.
All day long.
All day fucking long.
I love a cream soda.
It smells so good.
Yeah, it's just. I mean, it's a cream soda with the words sugar cookie on the label, right? Don't you think?
Hold one more sip.
It's just like a pretty classic.
I think it, yes, but it has a little more vanilla to it. A little more of like a sugar cookie cream.
And now that I'm a little more toasty, I feel like I can taste the sprinkles.
You can taste the sprinkles. Yeah.
I mean, that's what,
I love it.
weed is good for, is like it lets your imagination just float a little higher.
Oh, that's so good.
That
Great
is
job,
so nice.
Jones.
Yeah.
Mark, come on, man. You got to try
You
it.
got to try the sugar cookie soda.
And bring a little more energy to your response.
Oh my God. Don't take notes from Mike. You're doing perfect. Jesus.
Took a sip.
Yep. See?
Big smile.
Yes.
Big nod.
That's a sugar cookie.
That's a sugar cookie. Hell yeah,
well,
dude.
thank you, Jones. Sorry we didn't taste these right when they showed up, but this was fun to hang on to them for our very special app.
If you were to make a Thanksgiving themed soda,
Yes.
what would you do? Would you do cranberry sauce soda?
Oh God. I would do like that. I mean, cranberry sauce soda sounds awesome if it had all of those zingy notes of cinnamon and orange and stuff in it.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
And as a mixer too.
Yes.
Like if you're with family and like you want to have like a drink, it's a great mixer, I think.
Also, I really love a lot of the infused drinks that are coming out now that are non-alcoholic, that are either mocktails or cannabis infused. They're like a lot of shrubs. Do you know what a shrub is?
I've never heard of that.
They're fermented drinks, sort of akin to like a drinkable vinegar, which sounds gross, but it's like, kind of, have you had Klaus, that cannabis infused drink, Klaus by Warren?
Okay.
That it's like got a little acidity and acridity to it. That's almost, it tastes like vinegar. I think he's working from the base of a shrub. They're just like kind of drinking vinegars. I guess I don't know how to say it better.
More like what's the drink you have after dinner?
It tastes very adult. Like
Adult.
it's not super sweet. There's even a little bit of, when you first drink it, you're like, whoa, am I supposed to ingest that? But it's really good. And they're, I think, really good for your gut because they're fermented.
Oh, cool.
So maybe I would do like a cranberry shrub.
Sounds delicious.
Yeah.
Pecan pie.
Wait, that's the way you said sounds delicious. Sounded like you were saying it's not delicious.
No, it sounds like a great drink to have with dinner. Yeah.
Okay.
Pecan pie.
Sorry to step on your pecan pie.
Like that to me would be a perfect drink.
Yeah.
A perfect soda. Roasty, toasty, pecans, a caramelly finish. You've got a little bit of like a sugary, buttery cracker crust.
Yep.
That to me is the perfect type of soda to eat.
I can taste it.
Yeah.
I think that would be amazing.
It's my favorite candle. Pecan pie, it flies so under the radar year round, but I think it is such a universally beloved thing that deserves more than just Thanksgiving. The candle rocks. The pie rocks. Like it's so much more than just one day. And also it's supposed to take a backseat to pumpkin. Give me a freaking break.
Yeah. Yeah.
Stop it.
I would rate it high. I love it. I say pecan.
You do?
I guess that's a regionalism, huh?
Maybe. Or
Pecan?
wrong? I don't know.
No. Hey, now.
I'm feeling spicy today.
Pecan pie would be delicious. Yeah.
Yeah. What do you do? Pumpkin or pecan?
I don't really care about pumpkin pie. I've done pumpkin cheesecake in the past a few times. I mean, Mark, don't give me those eyes. It's not that I just think like more often than not, you end up with a commercial pumpkin pie at a lot of Thanksgivings, and I just don't think they're great. If someone has taken the time to make a homemade pumpkin pie, I will always have a piece. You couldn't miss it. But like that sort of, Costco or Ralph's or whatever pumpkin pie that's usually on the side table. Not crazy about it.
Before we move on, you make me think of the obscure, unthought of, but very welcome recipes that we both have at our disposal that would be game changers and winners at a Thanksgiving.
Okay.
I think if you brought your key lime pie to a Thanksgiving, it would be an absolute showstopper.
Thank you so much. I love making it, and it's really simple. So thank you. What would you bring? Your potatoes, obviously.
Chicken parm.
Oh.
I don't know.
What I would want, that fucking fish sandwich that you made. Do you know what I'm talking about?
No.
Oh, you made that tuna confit sandwich, Samin Nosrats.
Oh, yeah.
Tuna.
Yeah.
I'm just thinking about the things that you
Well,
made
that's
that
like a great-
I can't forget about, or that butter chicken that you make.
Yeah, but I think like those aren't recipes for Thanksgiving. Those are recipes for football afternoon, where you just lay out a shitload of sandwiches on a table
For sure.
and people are just like snacking all day long.
Yeah.
Like that's what I think a sandwich calls for.
Okay.
Is for like an afternoon snack
But I
when
don't
you're
think
smoking a joint.
Key lime pie is very Thanksgiving-y, though.
That's what I'm saying. It's the what is it called?
Outlier?
Outliers that would be welcome to the party.
Okay.
Like your key lime pie, I think would be very welcome at any Thanksgiving.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of something of yours that would be the equivalent. The outlier.
A pound of weed and
Okay.
some microdoses of ecstasy.
No, okay.
That's kind of like
Great.
what I can bring.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll bring key lime pie.
And I will bring Molly.
Fantastic.
Hey, shout out to my cousin. Her name's Molly.
Oh,
I'll see you in Boston.
great. You know what Mike's bringing. Well, so you're going to be a guest in whose home? Whose house are you staying
My
at?
uncle Don.
Okay. Are you going to be
Don.
cooking in Don's kitchen?
Man, I wish, but I really don't think I will. Like, I don't know any of these people anymore. Like, we're family, but we don't talk.
Okay.
And so it's going to be a lot of us all getting to know each other again.
Mhm.
And I think if I were to pull my move of being in the kitchen and cooking, I would not be pushing myself to get to know these people, because I'd be a loner who walled myself off in tasks instead of engaging with humans.
Oh, that's a good way to think of it. So you're going to just like try and actually sit down and just be like present with everyone.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm working really hard on it.
I just wanted to caution you because I just pulled a move cooking as a guest in someone's house that was so insane that I was absolutely freaking mortified.
What'd you do?
You know, I was staying at my friend Kate's house while she was out of town. She and her husband John are on tour with their band, and I was looking after their awesome dog Pearl and staying in their beautiful home. And Archie and I were so excited to just like hang out with Pearl and have a nice time. And the night that they were due home, they were getting in at like midnight. And I was like, oh, cool. I'll just hang out with Pearl and have dinner with her. And then I'll head out before you guys get home. And I decided to cook a last dinner to hang out and have with the dogs. And I cooked a steak. I pan fried a steak in their house like 3 hours before they came home without thinking. And when I finished, I was like, oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. Their entire home, beautiful home. They have the nicest house.
Yeah.
The whole thing was permeated with a steak dinner that they were not going to eat. I ate this steak dinner. The dogs had steak dinner with me. I immediately texted Kate and I was like, listen, I am so sorry. She was like, it's cool. And I was like, is it cool? And I was like, rest assured the dogs had steak. And she was like, okay. And then she got home that night and I texted her the next morning and I was like, was everything okay? And she was like, uh-huh. And I was like, even the steak? And she was like, listen, it did smell like steak, but it smelled like good steak. And I was like, oh God, I'm going to have to do a lot to be
That's
forgiven
a crazy move, Mary Jane.
I wasn't thinking. If I had done that 2 nights before or 3 nights before and given everything the chance to air out, I think that's fine. If you're cooking in someone else's house, you need to like think of those things.
Mhm.
Don't fucking like fry fish 20 minutes before someone comes home.
In a cast iron with the windows closed.
Oh my God. I'm so sorry, Kate. I don't even know if she listens to this podcast, but like, fuck.
Mark says you can come cook a steak at his place.
Oh my God. Any day. I will come and cook. It was a really good steak. I did
Sure.
a really nice job with it. It was, but look, who I'm really nervous about is her husband because I'm friends with Kate.
Yeah.
I know John and we like each other very much. I think that might not be the case on his side anymore. Cause he's like, who's your friend who came over and stayed at our place for 2 weeks and then cooked a steak and left like a lunatic? Jeez Louise. I'm
That's
so sorry.
So funny.
I
Did
did-
you do the thing too where you like cook it on the stovetop and then throw it in the oven to finish?
No, it was skirt steak and I just purely did it in the cast iron on the stove. I mean,
That's insane.
I permeated their place. Like, I didn't even close the doors to their bedroom or anything.
Did you like light a match before you left?
I opened the doors for a minute. The craziest thing is when I go over to Natalie's house, Natalie will often like cook us she'll make us a nice steak dinner. When she cooks it, we stand in the kitchen while she cooks it and she closes all the doors to the rest of her place.
Yeah.
Like a thinking, sane person. I had every door to every room open, and I just pan fried this steak and left. And I was anyway.
I don't think people might not realize, but especially in LA, unless you have like $1 million home,
Yeah.
you don't have those oven vents. You don't have something you
No.
can turn on above the oven to suck up all the stuff.
No, and their place is one of those really cool but old. Their place is like, old Los Feliz, cool apartment that definitely like the walls absorb. They have a wooden ceiling, for God's sake.
Oh
like
my
the
God.
steak.
Hey, before I left, I made salmon skin, bacon, steak. I
Roasted some Brussels sprouts.
yeah.
Here you go.
Yeah, I steamed some broccoli and
Oh fuck! I truly
took a dump.
I'm just gonna. And the thing was, I was so careful. Like I cleaned the. I was like, I love being a house guest in other people's homes. It's such a gift to be able to stay in someone else's lovely home. And I had cleaned that earlier that day. I'd made sure that everything was pristine and had replaced the things that I'd used. I got them some Maldon salt that I'd used. Like I was like, I'm gonna make it nice, you know.
Mhm.
And left a nice bottle of wine in the fridge, and then I pan fried a steak like a serial killer. Who does that?
You,
Ah,
only you.
I'm so
That's
sorry. I cut
crazy.
in line and I pan fried steaks. I'm terrible. Why would anyone want me in their lives? I'm so sorry. I'm awful. I'm doing better. I will not do that again. I'm never going to cut in line again. I'm never going to pan fry a steak in your house again.
Okay.
I'm so sorry, everybody. I'm so sorry.
So funny.
Can we get on from my humiliation and embarrassment now?
Oh my gosh, please. Yeah, I don't need. Yeah.
Let's talk about something else. Mortifying. God damn.
Yeah, I would never do that.
You do plenty of other things, Mike.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Like what? You can't think of anything. Perfect house guest. I don't even sleep in the bed. I sleep on the floor as to undisturb
'cause that's
everything.
not weird.
They walk in.
Where's
and
Mike?
I'm laying on the floor.
He's in the fetal position over in the corner. It's fucking awesome. At least I'm fun.
That's a good point.
Okay.
And well, should we move on, or do you want to talk more about house guests who stay at places?
I feel like we should move on. I'm looking at the clock and feeling
Okay.
like it's time.
We went to the OG Cannabis Cafe, the
Yep.
first cannabis cafe that's reopening in Los Angeles, California. We just wanted to talk about it a bit because cannabis cafes are back, and I think for the last 3 months I've talked shit about cannabis cafes on this podcast.
Yes, you
and
have.
so we finally we were invited to one. We were given the royal treatment, amazing treatment.
Yes.
And so we just want to kind of recap what cannabis cafe experience is like.
Shout it out. Well, we had been, so this very particular cafe with the same licenses opened up 4 years ago. And I wrote about it, and we went and hung out with a bunch of people and stuff. And so we were excited to see like what the difference was opening back up. And it seems like they followed much the same like sort of plan. Like it feels like it's interesting because it was a soft opening, and so they were still getting like, okay, the one thing was for me, I arrived and I was waiting for you, and I was sitting in a two-top, and they were like, do you want anything while you wait for your friend? And I was like, oh, I would love a coffee. And they literally, the waitress's face fell, and she was like, oh. And I was like, is that like a weird thing to ask for? And she was like, no, we'll get you your coffee. And so she left, and then you arrived, and then we were like chatting with a bunch of friends who were there and saying hello, and we were smoking some weed, and they brought over water, and then the food that we had ordered started to arrive, and we just came back, and she was like, we're still working on your coffee. And I was like, okay. At this point, it'd been like 20 minutes. We both had a heart out because we had other places to be.
Yeah.
Half an hour in, they brought a coffee.
Yeah.
And made a joke about having had to hire someone off the street to make it.
Which is not exactly a joke as much as it is like plausible.
I don't
and
know.
possible.
But listen.
If it's on the menu and you're having a soft opening, you should be able to make a coffee.
Cafe is in the name of the place. That means you serve coffee. Like it's like a coffee shop in Amsterdam. So you walk in, you order your delicious coffee, and you get your weed, and like that's the experience. If you're calling yourself the OG Cannabis Cafe and you don't have coffee, I just don't even know what the disconnect is there. It just felt like the food service aspect was not connected to the weed service aspect, because the weed service aspect was amazing.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, that's exactly it.
You know what I mean? Like the two did not feel of a piece. The food and the drink rollout felt like everyone was panicking behind the scenes, and the weed was like, here you go. Like we ordered an eighth of some beautiful live soil flower. And we got some pre-rolls, peanut butter breath pre-rolls, and
a wonderful server named Shug
Yep.
rolled us a big fat joint.
Yep.
It was
of the
great.
Gelinade.
Gelinade, that was
Yeah.
it. Yeah. So do you want to break this into like two parts? The weed part, the food part, and then overall?
Sure.
Because I think you're right. The weed part was fantastic. It's 3 different companies all coming together, so it's a very like short list menu.
Yeah.
But it has something for everybody.
Yep.
Not just indica sativa hybrid, but also like different potencies, different terpene profiles, different ways to smoke it, from a student glass that is just a big talking point of a centerpiece bong to a wonderful blunt
or an ounce of pre-rolls.
Yeah.
Yep.
So I really loved all of that, and I loved the aspect of being able to smoke with people at a restaurant.
Oh, it's the best.
Whether it's a friend and you're passing them a joint and they're at another table, or it's just you and I, whatever it is, being able to smoke at a restaurant was fucking awesome.
It's always the most awesome. It's my favorite thing, being able to just smoke openly in public with other people. It's like, yeah, especially if, if you came from a time and a place where, which most of us do, where you're not allowed to do that.
Yeah.
It just feels like a real celebration of how far we've come.
Exactly. And if you're visiting LA, or if these are popping up in other cities and states across the country, it is a really nice place to take people and friends just to show that come so far coming. Ness.
So articulate. The come so far comingness. That's my second pitch for the title of this episode.
Okay. After like what
sweet,
is it?
Sweet creamy meat, or the come so far coming. Sweet, sweet creamy meat, and the come so far coming. Whatever.
Ness. Yeah.
My brain just slid out my ear.
Fucking right, man. So
weed.
Please.
Just the weed aspect of OG Cannabis Cafe.
The price.
Yes. And the prices were not bad.
A great price point for an eighth. I think it was like $40 to $50.
Yeah. I mean, well, there were a few different. There was like super, super top shelf where there was $80 an eighth. And then, some affordable versions. Definitely like akin to the price that you would pay at the dispenser, at one of the fancier dispensaries.
Agreed.
For sure.
My big Betty Boop butt about it is that because it was a soft opening, so everything was comped and free. There were no bills. There was no transactions. So I don't know if you order that $45 eighth, what the tax breakdown gratuity. I don't know what all of that looks like at the end of the 45.
Right. We never saw a check.
So it could very well be 70 by the time things are said and done.
Right. And thank you to everyone there for not presenting us a check. Like, it was very, very, very generous. And we were like, so
and
well
I did leave
$1.
It might have gotten blown under the table, but I left $1 on top of it.
We threw down a tip. Come on. Can't be lying about that. It's going to make me feel
all
weird.
these people left money on the table, so I grabbed it all to try and give it back to them.
I had someone do that once. I was working at the Flying Fish in Seattle, and I had worked this oyster happy hour that we had where you could get a dozen oysters for, I can't even remember how much. It was a dozen oysters for $20. And people would come in and just suck down like 2, 3, 4 dozen oysters. And these 2 young kids came in with an older guy who was clearly like a dad to one of them. And he paid for all of it. Businessman, threw down his check money and left. And then I watched them do it, and they reached in and they took out my tip, which was like $40. And then they wrote on the check, "Thank you so much for your service. Our tip to you is our compliment on how wonderful you are at your job," or whatever. And I stopped them, and I got that money back. But
damn right.
What the fuck? Wow. Crazy. Don't fuck with anyone's tip.
Okay.
He's so heated about it.
The food.
The food.
So we got a chicken panini with a side salad and a double smash burger and fries.
Yep.
Each one around $20.
Yep.
Everything on the menu. They had breakfast, lunch, and dinner plus desserts, all in the $20 range.
Yeah, we tried also. Our friend Adam Ill shared some churros with us. I know they have like buttermilk pancakes on the menu. You can get a bowl of cereal. It's very stoner friendly, which I really appreciated because I think last time we were there it was less so.
Yeah, it was a little more fussy, but now they have like Fanta orange soda in a glass bottle, like really nice stuff. Yeah.
I say Fanta. Pecan, Fanta.
I say pecan.
I say pecan.
And Fanta.
Fanta. Oh, Mark says Fanta too. Upstate New York, right? Overseas, and it's a Canadian thing too. So it's Fanta versus. Yep. Okay. Good.
Which way do you say it?
Fanta.
And
yeah.
And I say Fanta.
Mm-hmm.
Is that really what I said the first time? Is Fanta?
Yeah, that's why I know. That's why I remarked upon it. That's why I've screeched the whole conversation to a halt to point to the fact that you said it in what I think was a weird way. Sorry to derail. Oh Lord, does anyone care? No. Anyway,
so we split it. We each had half a burger, half a panini.
Yep.
Fries.
Yep.
Da, 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 da.
Some bites of churro.
Some bites of churro.
Mm-hmm.
I would say that all of it was awful.
Yeah, I mean,
I don't know how else to describe it.
yeah,
Like as somebody who is like
potentially paying.
who people are going to be paying good money to eat there, and it's going to be an expensive bill at the
Right.
end of the day because of taxes and everything. Like it's going to be a pricey experience.
Yeah.
Step up your food because it's bad.
The churros were great.
Agreed.
And when the coffee arrived, it was good.
Awesome.
So I would say go order a cup of coffee and some churros and smoke out to your heart's
Treat
delight.
it as a cafe.
Treat it as a cafe. You are not there. Or get a bowl of cereal. That sounded fun. I was like,
Yeah.
oh, that's a fun idea. I wouldn't get the hot food. It's just, you know, I don't know. I mean, maybe they're dialing it in. It was a soft lunch, but definitely I took a bite and I was like, oh, interesting. What is happening?
No salt. I think the burgers are frozen or they weren't cooked to a smash burger crisp. If you're going to say it's a smash burger, I need that lacy edge. I need that char. I need it to be burgery. And instead it tasted like wet water.
Oh, that's so crazy. Yeah. Yeah. Also, the thing that made me crazy just as a former server for so many years is the plates. We were like seated at a table that had empty plates on it. And then when the food came, no one had cleared those plates. So we had to move those plates aside. And then they put these enormous plates down and the burger came on like a slab of wood that was super thick and heavy and hard for the server to put down. And then the server who was trying to clear it later, it was like, this is just unwieldy and not a great idea for like comfort and ease. And we had no table room to like roll our joints or we needed like a second table for our weed. The whole thing was just like not thought through in a way where you're like, this is a soft launch. They're still working it out.
Right, but they're not going to change their plateware the way that they need to.
That burger is going to be on a plate next time you go. I bet you money.
You think so?
Oh, I bet you money. That fucking slab of wood, like the 8-pound slab of wood.
That nobody can carry and takes up the whole table?
Yeah.
I think that is a great point. As a stoner who knows stoner, what a stoner is, like look at any stoner's coffee table during a sesh with their friends.
Yeah. 5 drinks.
5 fucking drinks, a bunch of snacks, maybe a wrapper or 2, ashtrays, smoking devices, and that's what you're going to order there. You're going to get a water and a soda and a drink and a thing and a thing and a thing. And you also have a rolling tray and an ashtray.
And a proper table is also going to be clear things so you can like pass things easily back and forth. Like this was like, there was just no room between us. It just felt like, kind of discombobulated and a little like it hurt my brain a little bit because I was like, oh, I have to like move this plate over to this side and then now I have like too many things and I need a second table.
Yeah. And then on the customer service tip, everybody looked beautiful.
Oh, so hot.
And was incredibly nice.
So nice.
All about that.
Yeah, all about that. And the vibe. I mean, while we were there, we ran into several friends and
Oh, I'm sorry to interrupt, but you almost died.
No.
Because you got peanut debris.
Well,
they have a sundae there with chopped peanut. It's the only thing that on the menu that has peanuts. And it is a hot fudge sundae that has crushed peanuts on top. And I think that you got a gale force wind in the kitchen of peanut dust that landed on the burger because you took one bite, sat straight up, and your eyes went wide. And I was like, oh, we're going to have a real situation here.
It did feel peanutty. I don't know that it was. I didn't actually get sick because I stopped eating it so quickly and then had several gulps of the several beverages that I had. But yeah, it did feel like there was some cross contamination, but I can't prove it. So I don't know. I just order the churros. Order the churros and get an eighth and have a great time.
Yeah.
And I also think that they should change their chairs. I thought the chairs were uncomfortable. Maybe that's just me.
Yeah. Look, I'm going to be straight up about this.
What?
I still think cannabis cafes are a ripoff. I think that having a great time with friends in public, smoking, snacking, and hanging is wonderful, but I could do that same thing in a park with 6 pizzas and have just as good a time, and there'll be dogs and we'll play frisbee, and that to me is just as effective without a $200 bill.
But if you're someone who wants to smoke in public and consume in public without worrying about getting arrested or having any real concerns about the elements or whatever, go to the Cannabis Cafe. There's another place too that just opened up that I really want to try called Irie, which is above a new dispensary. And I'm excited to check them out because that looks like upscale, like almost fine dining. And so let's go check that out too. So we have a little more to talk about as far as the cannabis, because you're so against it. And it makes me kind of crazy because I see the benefit of it, especially when you're from out of town or if you're someone who is concerned about public consumption being a danger.
Yeah.
For whatever reason. If
I understand all of that, but
yeah.
I'm not going to be steadfast and stubborn where if I have a great experience, I'm still going to be like, actually it sucked because I'm a little bitch. Like, no, of course. Like, I'm looking for a great time. But this wasn't up to whatever it's trying to be.
Okay.
It's just a fact. Like, I got to be honest.
Scale 1 to 10 for you.
6.8.
Okay. That's pretty high.
Yeah.
It's not too bad.
Yeah. What about you?
I'm going to give it a 7.7.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can see it. Both of us agreeing on that.
Okay.
Okay. Cool. Right on. Oh, well, let's take a quick break.
Okay.
Because you want to support our ad, everybody. We have a great ad for Black Friday. It's for the Scent Air, and you're going to listen to it as well as this part where I'm talking about the ad itself.
Wow, double ad. Mike, I did something crazy.
Did you eat a whole plate of shrimp and forget to peel them?
No, I was house sitting and I cooked myself that steak dinner.
Yeah.
Right before my friends came home.
Huge mistake.
Oh my God.
It was a glaring mistake.
Pan frying a steak like 5 minutes before your friends come home from being on tour.
And then the whole house is just filled with smoke. It's filled with steak smells.
I mean, I love a swirl of smells, but pan fried steak, it was really overwhelming.
Were your friends mad?
No. You know why?
Why?
Because my Scent Air saved the day. Scent Air removes lingering odors.
Scent Air's amazing patented odor neutralizing technology detects stinky smells in the air, bonds with them, and then makes them undetectable.
Scent Air has been scenting hotels, stores, event spaces, and beyond for 25 years, and they really dial up the holly jolly vibes during the holiday season.
Yeah, the winter collection is available right now at their online store.
It includes limited release favorites Gingerbread Man, Noel, and Season's Greetings, plus the year-round classic, Pine Forest.
Such a classic. Love a classic Pine Forest. Scent Air diffusers fill your space with fragrances for up to 300 hours, and you can control them from your phone.
If I had had the Pine Forest to turn on after my steak dinner, legit, it would have made my friend's house smell like a stroll through the woods on a wintry day.
My favorite is actually the Gingerbread Man because it makes my whole place feel cozy, warm, Christmassy.
I love that.
Yeah.
Try luxury home fragrance trusted by the pros by going to scentair.com.
And dig this. Listen close. There is a Black Friday through Cyber Monday deal, and you can save 60% off statewide. And as a special bonus, Weed and Grub listeners can take an extra 25% off with the promo code GRUB.
What?
Yeah.
That's scentair.com. Use the promo code GRUB for an extra 25% off your order.
This Black Friday through Cyber Monday, craziest deal I've ever heard of.
Crazy. Almost
Crazy.
like pan frying a steak in your friend's house.
That's crazy. But Scent Air will fix the friendship.
That's right. Scentair.com.
Welcome to the Lasagna Ganja Podcast. It's the podcast that combines cannabis education and entertainment. And believe me, it's layers to all of this. I'm X to the Z exhibit.
I'm Tammy, the Cannabis Cutie, and join us as we explore the world of cannabis, from its history and culture to the latest industry trends and scientific breakthroughs.
So whether you're a seasoned smoker or new to the world of cannabis,
join us on the Lasagna Ganja Podcast.
New episodes drop every week, so hit subscribe and come along for the high. Let's go, baby.
Thank you all for supporting us and supporting the people that support us. You want to get to the Grublet Gazette?
Let's do it.
Let's get to the news. Let me find my phone.
Gazette.
Archie, are you laying on my phone?
We should have held this for a second.
I think he's laying on my phone. Oh, who did you text? Obama?
Oh,
Hold on,
wait,
Archie.
you have Obama's number in your phone?
I have his old number. Before he became president, when we were both in Chicago, we would always go to what's the cheeseburger place
in Chicago?
In Chicago,
I don't know.
Have you ever seen that SNL bit? With
No.
John. I think it's John Belushi.
You
and
know
Bill
I don't
Murray.
know anything. Why are you asking me about something that you know that there's no way I'm going to know about it?
So High Times,
A pop culture reference that has to do with Chicago? Dude. Lunatic.
Do you know the Bean?
My clit? I know her well.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
So High Times just published a study that says that ayahuasca could make people less narcissistic.
Interesting.
Yeah. So this was published earlier this year in the Journal of Personality Disorders based on a 3-month evaluation of more than 300 adults who had a pre-screening, I'll call it, leading up to it. And then they kept in touch with and tracked a bunch of things from those adults through the ayahuasca ceremony and then up to 3 months afterwards. And one of the findings, even though it was very small and a little bit mixed across different types of people, it provided a modest qualified support that there were changes in narcissistic antagonism for up to 3 months following the ceremony.
Wow.
So it didn't solve anything, but there was a noticeable difference in ego, a noticeable difference in like how people are focusing their energies, and more study needs to be done. But again, this kind of what would it be called? Eye-opening, third eye-opening, cleansing experience can help with narcissism.
Yeah, that's so interesting. Certainly everyone I've ever heard talk about their ayahuasca experience has used words like life-changing. So
right.
it's about like when we talked to Jim Belushi about it early in the days of this podcast, and he went on and on about how it had really reset the way he saw the world.
Yeah.
It's so interesting to think about it like making you less narcissistic, because the implication is that it could make you a better person on some level.
Oh, I think that is a blurry line to equate things with. You're right.
Well, I just think it's really interesting because I think it has been sort of statistically proven that, like, I've certainly read lately a couple of different studies or articles about how psychedelics don't make you a better person. They just sort of amplify who you truly are. So in one case, like, there was this podcast called This Is Actually Happening that I listened to, and they did 2 episodes about ayahuasca. It's first person narrative. So it's just one person telling their story. And there was one that was called What If You Touched the Void? And it was a poet who had suffered from chronic depression who did ayahuasca, and it truly helped and healed him. And it's an incredible episode, and you should definitely listen to it. There's another one called What If Your Husband Touched the Void? And it's a woman talking about how she encouraged her husband to use ayahuasca to recover from addiction. And he came back a totally changed, not in a good way, person. And it was sort of like the mask had come off, and he ended up like walking out of their marriage. Wow. And I think we've touched on that on this podcast before, but just the idea that like psychedelics will inherently make you better or more well is certainly not the case. So it's interesting to hear that this study found that it would make you less narcissistic. Like that's great, but also... Yeah.
Well, one of the reasons I wanted to choose this as a news story, especially for this week, leading into Thanksgiving, leading into family, leading into like how people handle things. Like, I know some people.
Okay.
I know some people in my family.
I thought you were talking about me. Okay.
Narcissist.
Oh my God, she's so up her own ass.
I think what this stuck out to me is I've never done ayahuasca, but so many people have said ego death, ego death, ego death. And now we are getting scientific research that is also slowly but possibly backing up that kind of like firsthand experience storytelling that I've heard before.
Yeah.
And I think that's a really interesting thing. Like there will be a time when there will be a Nobel Prize for like ayahuasca is ego death scientifically. This is a fact.
Yeah.
And that's where it could end up.
Super interesting. It also strikes at the heart of why hopefully it will be difficult to corporatize psychedelics fully, because there really is no way to make people want to experience ego death linked to money. I
was going to bring this up.
Okay.
Because this was a week-long retreat done by researchers, and all of the people who wanted to be a part of the study entered a raffle, and then however they choose the people.
A raffle is like a big wheel.
Oh, it's probably a big wheel. The scientists probably, some of the funding went to a big wheel.
Maybe there were some balls with numbers on them.
Probably.
That's how they did it.
Yeah, it's real science.
And then there was a woman who came in a little outfit, and she picked the numbers, and then she announced them and put them in a little board. And she was wearing a little outfit.
I could see it. So they did that.
Scientifically.
And the people who were chosen, the 314 people, they were paid $1,580 for the week-long retreat.
Great.
So they were paid for the retreat. And then every single survey and thing after that, they were paid $20 or $30.
Okay.
And so I just wanted to shout out, like, this was the kind of thing where people were like, oh, I'm going to make money from this. And I think that's an important thing.
Well, yeah, I think that medical studies, people are usually paid, right? Like I had a boyfriend years ago who put himself through university by donating his body to science and doing a bunch of weird clinical trials.
Right on.
So that makes it on par with other clinical trials.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fuck, I need to get a lab coat. If I'm going to be selling Molly over Thanksgiving in Boston, I got to figure out some ways.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you have that chef's coat that I got your name embroidered on. You could just wear that. I'm sure people would take you very seriously
Uh-huh.
if you walked around wearing your chef's coat that says Glazer.
Yeah, I'm chefing up in a different kind of kitchen.
Yo.
How about it? So that's the news this week.
That's an interesting story.
Yeah.
I'm excited to learn more and more about that too, as like our friends in the psychedelic community start really like, follow the Hyphae Leaks Substack. They're doing such neat work over there, Reggie and Mary, and they've got that podcast going and stuff. Like the knowledge that's coming up through the community is just fascinating as they publish more and more of it.
Yeah. I don't have much more to add to that. As a very giving, open person who doesn't care about himself.
You're a very giving, open person who doesn't care about himself?
Yeah. Except I have a
you
new
heard
segment
it here.
called I'm Done With It.
Okay.
Dun 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 dun. You didn't like when I played the YouTube over my phone, so now I'm just going to sing the Bill Maher New Rules theme
Bill
song.
Maher? Fuck off. Get a new sound. No, he sucks. And I hate it. And you need to find something else. And if you don't, I'm walking off the pod next time. I swear you're hearing it here. If you don't come up with a new theme song, that wasn't even a song. You just said dun, 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 dun for like way too long. Fucking Christ, I'm going to lose my mind.
Okay. Hey, if anyone has a suggestion for a new theme song for my new segment, I'm Done With It.
Yeah.
Send in the
I
suggestions.
can make one up right now.
Make one up.
Da-na-na-na-na-na.
I'm done with it.
There you go.
Oh shit, I didn't mind that. That was pretty good.
Can we just sample that, Mark, and use that next time? Da-na-na-na-na-na-na.
I'm done with it. I'm done with Clear.
Oh.
Get it together. I didn't know Clear at the airport. You know how you have like general and then you have TSA pre and then you have Clear?
Yep.
Do you know Clear is a private corporation?
Oh.
It's not even a government agency. It's a private corp that slid their way into every single airport across our country and is making money hand over fist selling our biometric data to whoever the top bidders are for you to get in line a little bit sooner than TSA pre-check. Creepy as fuck. We went from 9/11 happening, an absolute inside job, to
oh my God.
An absolute inside job.
I'm covering my eyes for anyone who can't see the YouTube. I'm covering my eyes.
Absolute inside job.
Oh my God.
To immediately having these machines that let you see pussies and penises of people. And now you have to take off your shoes because of a shoe bomber. And all of that was like in the moment with 9/11, one of the most horrific acts of terrorism that's ever happened. And we followed along. We said, yes, you can look at my penis. We said, yes, we'll take off our shoes.
What are you talking about, pussies and penises?
The machines. They used to just be a standard metal detector that you would walk through. And then all of a sudden,
the ones that swoop around you?
And then all of a sudden you can see everybody's insides.
I don't think they showed genitalia.
Well,
I think it just shows like possible explosives
then
on.
Why was the TSA guy winking at me?
Yeah, what? Right? You can see pussies and penises? Mark is saying maybe. A little bit.
Yeah, you can
see like the outline of my vulva. Big fucking whoop. Who cares?
Oh, well, what if John Hamm goes in there in a gray sweatpants? Everyone's going to be crowded around.
A PR campaign was crazy.
It was a crazy PR
like,
campaign.
We got to get him some attention. Let's get him out there in some gray sweatpants real quick.
Mr. Hamm, we have an idea for you. What size is your hog?
Please don't wear underwear and just go outside and drink some Starbucks. We're going to whip up the fucking frenzy. Here we go. Listen, I'm not against those machines. You're against it because you feel like people can see your hog.
Yes.
Okay.
And so I've only done it once, and it was because I was running
and you're hog
so
shy,
late.
Or?
I am hog shy. Well, what do they have? Oh, I guess if I could like get a little fluff in before I go through it.
Oh, you want to get a oh, okay. Mm-hmm. I don't need to know more about that.
All right. So we went from 9/11 to these hog machines to taking off our shoes because of a shoe bomber.
Yeah.
And that just became standard, right? And then cut to a couple of years later, TSA pre-check is implemented so that we can kind of like, because everybody is back, everyone is traveling, the population is probably like at least a third bigger across the world than it was during 9/11, something crazy. And so now we have TSA pre-check that you pay for, you get to be on some kind of list as a good boy, and you get to skirt the general population. Great, fine. All of a sudden, I'm back at a metal detector. I don't have to take my shoes off. I don't have to take anything out of my bag. I'm just a human being again, like before 9/11. Now, TSA Clear gets to jump all of those lines, but it's not a government agency. It's a private company. So one of the most massive, important pieces of humanity, air travel, connection, global connection, is now being run and has a hand in privatized companies, and it's all for you to give your eyes away for a quick jump in line. Fuck off. I'm done with it.
Okay.
I'm done with it.
But
it's not okay.
Are you a member of Clear?
No, and I'm not going to be.
Okay.
But I also
So you're not like renouncing your membership in
well,
Clear,
we have
done with
friends
it.
like Lisa Traeger and I've gotten in like fights in the green room about it because she has Clear and she's like, I show up 20 minutes before the flight's supposed to take off. I breeze in, I breeze out, and I don't need to take an hour out of my time for travel.
Like she decided it was worth it in the way
my eyes are worth more.
Well, this is the thing though. Like, what are they going to do? So I have a friend who, when I started my TikTok account, she was like, be careful because, they monitor everything. And I was like, but it doesn't matter. Like they have it. What are they going to do? It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
Right. But this is if you give a mouse a cookie situation.
Oh, okay.
Like we went from, everything I just said, and it just got worse and worse and worse until they were like, and let's pull a little bit of a pressure valve off of this and do TSA pre-check for people who want it. Like it's just too many people. It's a bunch of wieners and vulvas. Like it's all too much. Let's like release a little bit of this tension again and allow a little bit of space.
Yes.
And now it's like with that new space comes VIP, VIP plus, like bottle service. Like when is it going to stop? Like once we have a hair sample and a little bit of your spit, you can actually fly the plane. Like that's where are we going?
I see. You're mad that they've gotten us complicit incrementally, and Clear feels like a boundary violation of like we were all complicit until Clear has pushed you too far.
1,000,000% too far. My biometric data gets me in line sooner.
Yeah.
That's insulting to me as a full person.
Okay. Got you.
You know what I'm saying?
You're done with it.
I'm done with it.
Da-na-na-na-na-na. See? So clean. So easy.
clean.
You don't have to fucking quote Bill fucking Maher.
Okay.
Fuck. Oh, he's so crazy. Okay, done with it. What else do we have? What else?
I mean, we have a joke that was funny, but let's bring it up next week. Let's get to Buds of the Week and get out of here.
For sure. Yeah. Oh, wait, can I say one thing I'm done with?
Yeah.
I'm done with the erasure of women. I just saw a documentary about Cher Haidt, who I'd never fucking heard of, and I consider myself a pretty tapped-in feminist. Cher Haidt was one of the foremost sex researchers, and she made an entire several books about sexuality in America. She was on every show you can fucking imagine. Her book, The Haidt Report, was the 30th best-selling book of all time. A key feminist in the movement, and she has been completely erased. I had never heard of her, and I consider myself to be fairly well informed about this shit. And I just saw this great fucking documentary called The Disappearance of Cher Haidt, and it's in theaters now. And if you're interested in going and seeing like heartbreaking and amazing and interesting story that's beautifully made, it's a very funny documentary in a lot of cases. She was in the party scene in the 80s, and there's like a Gene Simmons appearance, and it's very fun, but it's also like fucking upsetting because why haven't we heard about this woman? It's because the fucking patriarchal establishment erased her and all of her work. I'm done with it.
Da-na-na-na-na-na.
Yeah.
Great, I'm done with it.
Buds of the Week?
Hell yeah, let's get to Buds now.
Okay.
This is what we fuck with.
Oh, I didn't pull up. There we go. Okay, here we go. This is what we fuck with.
Yeah, I like having I'm done with. I like doing Cream Corner at the top.
Okay.
And then I like and I'm done with it, followed by what we are in celebration of.
Great.
Yeah.
I love that too.
Fuck yeah. My Bud of the Week this week is the homie Marley at Marley Smoked It. Marley has become a friend thanks to our mutual friend, Zach Miller Dog, who is a great comic and comedy producer. And Marley was helping him with his show, and that's how we linked. And she works so hard in the weed industry. And she also gave me a code for free tickets to Complex Con this past weekend. And so I did a bunch of shopping. And as I was leaving, her and her boyfriend had just ran to the car to eat a bunch of edibles before seeing Kid Cudi. So I got to thank them in person for the plug. So Marley, you are my Bud of the Week. And thank you for not only being the friendship plug, but also the plug for great weed and Complex Con.
Hell yeah. And did you see Kid Cudi?
No, I did not.
Did you hear that crazy news about Kid Cudi recently?
No, what?
That P. Diddy had his car blown up.
What?
In his driveway.
What?
There was I don't even know. That was just all I read about it.
Kid Cudi. No, P. Diddy's car blew.
No, P. Diddy had Kid Cudi. That's hard to say. P. Diddy had Kid Cudi's car blown up. as part of a campaign to intimidate him because he was in love with Cassie, who was with Diddy at the time.
This is some telenovela shit.
Listen, there's a lawsuit. I think it might have just been settled, but it was
Wow.
yeah.
I didn't know anything
And
about
Cuddy
this.
confirmed it. Cuddy was like, "Yep, my car did actually blow up. That is like not some made up fucking thing."
That's like movie bullshit. That doesn't happen in real
right?
life.
Yeah, diabolical.
Wow. Yeah. Putin and Diddy.
Yeah, and Cuddy all day.
Unreal.
Wow.
So it was confirmed. This is true.
That his
P.
car
Diddy
did-
blew up Kid Cudi's car.
I don't know if it's confirmed that it was Diddy who was behind it, but the car did explode. Yes.
Mark is on a
Mark is
thumbs up
saying-
confirmed.
yeah, but
That's
yes,
insane.
Diabolical. Fucking wild.
Okay. I had no idea.
Yeah.
Huh.
Crazy. Excellent bud of the week as well.
Who's your
Riley's
bud?
The coolest. Luna Stower. Luna is a cannabis activist and keynote speaker and heads up iSpire, and she is inspiring. She is part of the movement and the community and the industry. She circles all the boxes and checks all the things, and she's just a great hang. We hung out at the Oakland Psychedelic Conference and had like just some good times. And if you're looking at her YouTube, you can see she's got mushrooms all over her sweater. She's fun. She's cool. And she also just got restricted by Instagram, like a bunch of other cannabis related Instagram accounts, including mine, which is crazy because I'm not posting that much on there at all. But it's nuts. So be careful what you put on Instagram right now. The bots are scouring. Don't use any hashtags or language that will make them look at you, and be careful about the pics. And follow Luna and her backup account. She'll be in the show notes. And Luna is my bud of the week. And we're going to see her at MJ BizCon.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. Great bud of the week.
Yay.
All right. This has been an awesome Thanksgiving ep.
Yeah. Thank you all for hanging with us. I am grateful for doing this podcast with you, Mike, and with producer Mark here at Petty Cash Studios, and for all of our listeners and buds who come and hang out with us every week and tell their buds about us. It's just like, it's been such a journey, and it's really interesting right now to be experiencing a funny little period of growth.
Yeah.
Like, it just goes to show, like, you never stop evolving and learning if people, if you just keep doing.
Yeah. And same, I'm very grateful for those things as well. And if anyone listening is, it's the holidays are a struggle. I hope that you can either surround yourself with really great people and or really great weed. And if you are not able to do either of those, we have a bunch of great episodes that hopefully we can be buds in your ears. And that's not like me plugging us. It's just plugging like, I hope you find some happiness over what can be a really difficult time.
For sure. And I think there was a TikTok that I sent you that was like, here are 3 things that you can do to reset. And one of them is just going to the bathroom and like locking the door for a minute and washing your hands with cold water and splashing some cold water on your face and like just doing like,
Like a horror movie?
What do you mean?
Like, when the monster's chasing the girl and then she runs to the bathroom and she's like, I just need a little cold water on the face.
Oh.
And for me to get my head around this demonic thing chasing me.
I mean, yeah, kind of
Yeah.
like that.
Wow.
For sure.
I've never thought about actually doing it.
It helps.
Let's drop that in the show notes too. That
Yeah.
TikTok, because it is a really great TikTok. 3 things you can do.
To just reset.
Yeah.
Yeah. To little coping mechanism, little tiny coping mechanisms. Awesome.
Yeah. And if not, apparently do ayahuasca with everybody on Thanksgiving and your egos will all be better for it.
I salute you if that's what you do. Hats off. Follow us at Weed and Grub on Instagram. Email us at wg@weedandgrub.com. Our TikTok is Mike and Mary Jane. Anything else, Mike?
Happy Thanksgiving, everyone.
Happy Thanksgiving, everyone.